Alright, I just wanted to make this video because, honestly, I think we all really get annoyed with our ISP, our internet service provider, but I mean, this is taking it to a completely new extreme, man. I mean, they do a lot of scummy things, right? I don't know if you guys have actually ever had any dealings directly with your service provider. I don't know if your parents pay for it or, your roommate pays the internet bill or whatever, right? But if you've ever had to deal with pretty much any of these companies, at least here in the United States, dude, it's terrible. It's like one of the worst experiences that you can go through. The way that they will loop you around and pull you through the ringer to just squeeze every dollar that they can out of you while providing the most mediocre service possible realistically should be criminal. I mean, they take advantage of the consumer so much and they do so many just grimy things. And they're about to be doing this again. They're about to put in a new restriction, basically, that I think is, number one, ridiculous, right? Because there's no way that, like, a lot of people can handle this kind of restriction. Two, it's predatory. They're doing it literally in order to just generate more revenue off their consumers because they know that they can. And three, it's directly affecting the service that they're providing. If you're doing a really good job, right, I don't mind a price hike. Like, if there's a good service going on, I really don't mind it if you hike the price up. Like, if my internet is super consistent, never goes down, I'm getting the speeds that I'm supposed to be getting, right, I'm paying a fair price as is, I don't mind a minor price hike. I mean, don't make it $400 a month, but I wouldn't mind a $5 or $10 extra charge if it made the company continue to provide me that good service, right? That's not the issue here. The issue here is Comcast knows what they're doing, and they know that this would never affect really their bottom line, but they're really just taking advantage of people at this point, which is a terrible time to take advantage of people going into next year because we're in the midst of a global pandemic. The economy has not fully recovered yet. There's still a bunch of jobless claims. There's hundreds of thousands of people who are filing claims every week. Millions, if not tens of millions of Americans cannot really barely get by. You know what I'm saying? Like they're relying on paycheck to paycheck income at this point. And that was kind of before this entire situation unfolded. But Comcast, one of the largest internet service providers in the United States, is announcing a plan to charge home internet customers in the Northeast United States for going over 1.2 terabytes of data in a month, which is a cap that's already in effect for customers on non-unlimited plans in other parts of the country. So basically, in the Northeast region of the US, Comcast is going to set a data cap that they already have set for non-unlimited customers. Now, these are usually people who can't afford unlimited plans, right? Because obviously there's a difference in price between unlimited and limited. Because, obviously if you use an unlimited data, you're probably going to end up using more data from the company than someone on a lower plan. They reasonably can charge more for that. That's not the problem here. The problem is that this cap that's already in effect for customers on non-unlimited plans in other parts of the country is going to be hitting poorer people. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be dropping a data increase hike, I guess, in terms of if you go over this limit, they're going to start charging you. Okay, now, apparently in January and February, Comcast will give Xfinity customers not on an unlimited plan a credit for any data usage charges over 1.2 terabyte to ease them into the new limits. But then in March, non-unlimited customers who exceed 1.2 terabytes in a month will be charged $10 per 50 gigabytes of data for a maximum of $100. Now, think about that, right? Like we've already established, people on the unlimited plans usually have less money to spend on something like this, right? I don't honestly know Comcast service package prices or anything. I don't know. From all the internet I've had, let's say it's like $45 a month for the best unlimited package. Well, basically what they're saying is, hey, well, we got them for $45 and we basically can just siphon the amount of data that they're using and charge them more if they go over it. So, families that are running home businesses barely trying to get by, they're going to get struck pretty hard by this. Employees who might be working from home, who have to use a lot of internet, they're going to get hit pretty hard by this for a max penalty of $100 extra a month. Now, when I think of a lot of the people who I would say have unlimited internet, can they afford an extra $100 charge on their internet every month? No. So this is absolutely ridiculous, okay? Now, a common argument against people against this, I guess, right? So like a pro-Comcast argument as well, internet is not an essential service. You don't need internet, which is absolutely not true in the year 2020. If you don't have internet in 2020, if you don't have access online, you might as well live in the fucking dark ages. The amount of people working from home is more than ever. You need internet to work from home, okay? Those people have to have internet, okay? And a lot of them are not going to be able to afford this $100 penalty. They're being punished for doing their job, for relying on the internet that they already pay for to do their job. And if you have kids, oh shit, dude, the amount of internet that you have to be using, especially if you're working from home, Jesus. With schools, a lot of are just completely out of session, right? They're doing online classes and stuff. Your kid's online for 4 or 5 hours a day in Zoom calls or doing homework, dude. Oh my goodness, like you're gonna be talking a ridiculous amount of data getting used. So there's gonna be a lot of families that are gonna run over this limit. So I would love for someone to please explain to me how it's not a necessity to be able to do your job and for your kids to be able to go to school. How is that not a necessity? How is it not a necessity for your children to be educated? Or for you to even make income? What about that is not an essential thing? And this is the stuff that really makes me mad, right? Because obviously I work online. I make YouTube videos and trade stocks and all that stuff, man. I work online. This is my livelihood. If my internet service provider were to impose a limit like this, I'm easily surpassing 1.2 terabytes a month because in reality, I feel like we're at this point in technology where like a terabyte seems like a lot. It really isn't. That is not a lot of data. If you think about it, the new Call of Duty games are pushing like 300 gigabytes, okay? So that's like a quarter of that data. Can you imagine that? Like your PS5 and Xbox One, they pretty much like, I think they come with a terabyte of storage apiece. That is really not that much data. In like 5 years, a terabyte is going to be the new gigabyte. Like, that's not going to be anything. I mean, even if you don't work from home and you just like watch Netflix or you got a family that's always on like Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, things like that, you're going to be siphoning up that data. So you're going to get hit by this charge if you're in the Northeast US. So this will include Connecticut, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maryland, Maine, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Vermont, West Virginia, the DC area, and parts of North Carolina and here in Ohio. Now Comcast is saying 95% of the customers don't get close to using that much data per month. Over the last 6 months, the median monthly data use was around 308 gigabytes. I'm gonna go ahead and say that probably isn't true, to be honest with you. I find it really hard to believe that households are only using that much data, especially in a global pandemic where so many people have to work from home. And broadband data caps are absolutely ridiculous in the first place. I mean, these companies, as much as they try to pretend that like, oh my god, well, if everyone had unlimited data caps, it would just strain our servers, it would strain our data. No, it would not. I'm not saying everyone should have unlimited data unless you're paying for it, but dude, the limits that they're imposing on people are absolutely ludicrous. This is not some defensive measure for this company. They're not doing this to save server space so that they can keep the internet up. They're doing this to pinch pennies and to pull people's fucking wallets out. This is literally one of the worst times in recent memory that I can think of in which you could announce a move like this, right? I can't think of any time where it would be great to be like, oh yeah, by the way, sorry you're poor and can't afford our unlimited data caps, You're paying for the lower packages of our internet, but hey, here's an extra $100 charge every month if you go over the data cap. I mean, well, maybe you should be a little richer, right? Maybe you should work a little bit more from home and pass your data cap, and you could afford the unlimited data. I mean, come on, man. Like, I don't know whose idea this was to put this out, especially right now, but it's horrible. Internet service providers should not be trusted. Anything that they tell you should not be trusted. They will do anything they can to sell you on their service, and they will not keep their promises to you whatsoever. They are some of the grimiest people on planet Earth. And the problem with ISPs and why they can get away with things like this, oh, Optimus, what's the big deal? Like, switch providers. Well, where I live, okay, especially, they basically buy out zones of the city to where they push the competition away, and they're the sole provider of internet. Now, there's probably like 30 internet service providers total where I live. Like, I don't know how many there are, but they have different sections because the top ISPs in the United States have basically worked with local governments to buy out vast areas in which there's no competition. So if you live in one of these deadlock zones, as I call them, where Comcast is the only provider, if you want fucking internet, you have to deal with this. You're forced into this. You have no other option. There might not be an AT&T or a Charter Communications or any of them, right? And I think that alone should be fucking illegal because it's super anti-competitive and it's anti-consumer. If there's only one option on the market by force, How is that literally not monopolizing the product? I mean, at this point, all of the ISPs really are monopolies, but what they've done is they've basically worked together, right? Because, there's not like one massive ISP that like nobody can touch. They all do pretty well, right? But they work with one another and just don't step on each other's boundaries when they sign up these zones and whatnot. And they're all fine because they're all making so much money taking advantage of consumers and fucking them over that they can get away with things like that. And they don't look like monopolies. So this company is taking advantage of their consumers, and I think that it's absolutely terrible. Comcast, you can go suck the nastiest fart out of an asshole that's possible. This is sad, man. Like, fuck them, for real. Like, this just disappoints me, man, because the sad truth is a lot of people don't even know that they have data caps. That's the real problem, I think, with a lot of this. They're not even aware that they're about to get hit with this $100 monthly charge. But they're about to get fucking hit with a DSR-50 BO2 Nuketown private match quickscope trick shot. Final kill cam at that. So, with that being said, I just wanted to make a video about this, man, and just ramble a little bit about it, because a lot of you are going to be affected by this. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shop Opti down below. Thank you to my channel members. Your support helps my channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, hating on Comcast, for real, and signing out.